Use of unfiltered compost for making garden beds. Compost usage in India. For soils in India, incorporating compost into the soil is the most common use of compost. Sandy soils are generally lacking in organic material. Compost will improve sandy, rocky or red clay soils. It improves texture, increases nutrient level and water holding capacity. Finished compost may be filtered or unfiltered. Both the types of compost are used for different purposes. In this class, we will learn the uses of unfiltered compost. Unfiltered compost can be integrated with the soil to make garden beds. Objectives. At the end of this class, you'll be able to identify the tools and materials for making garden beds, make the garden beds. The unfiltered compost can be mixed into existing soil before planting. Generally, unfiltered thermophilic compost can be mixed with the soil to form new garden beds. You may add compost to your garden by spreading and mixing into the soil at least to a depth of 3 inches. Let's first get familiarised with the tools to make garden beds. Shovel, garden fork, hand rake and a mug with holes in the bottom. Now here are the materials to make garden beds. Unfiltered compost, coarse filtered compost, finely filtered compost and saplings. Now let's see the procedure for making a new garden bed. Step 1. Dig a pit and put aside the mud. To make the new garden bed, dig 6 to 10 inches and put aside the mud dug out for later use. Step 2. Add unfiltered compost. Add 3 to 4 inches of unfiltered compost into the freshly dug pit. Step 3. Cover and spread the soil. Cover this with about 2 inches of soil that you had put aside. Spread it with your hands or the hand rake. Step 4. Add coarse and finely filtered compost to the remaining soil. Now in the remaining soil, add both the coarse and the finely filtered compost and mix. Step 5. Add the mixture to the pit. Cover the pit and raise the bed. Put this mixture in the pit, cover up the pit. You will get a raised garden bed. Step 6. Plant the saplings. Plant the saplings in the garden bed. Step 7. Water the garden bed. Water the bed first slowly and thoroughly. You may use a mug with holes to evenly water the garden bed. Allow the water to soak in. Here are some tips while making garden beds. In the garden bed, if you decide to plant saplings, then you may do it as soon as you have made the bed and then water the entire bed. If you were to plant seeds, first thoroughly saturate the garden bed with water and then plant the seeds the next day. With that, we come to the end of this class. Let's recall what we have learnt. We have learnt that unfiltered compost can be integrated with the soil to make garden beds. Now let's review the basic steps involved in making a garden bed. Step 1. Dig a pit and put aside the mud. Step 2. Add unfiltered compost. Step 3. Cover and spread the soil. Step 4. Add coarse and finely filtered compost to the remaining soil. Step 5. Add the mixture to the pit. Cover the pit and raise the bed. Step 6. Plant the saplings. Step 7. Water the garden bed. You have now learnt the use of unfiltered compost to make garden beds. Take our next class to learn about use the unfiltered compost as mulch